looking through this week's episode description for my podcast called the God's Goodness Podcast. I'm Shelly with the God's Goodness Podcast, and I was thinking about all the things we talked about. We talked about a lot of things in this week's episode, and one of the things my husband shared is he sometimes prays that God kills him. And what he means by that is like kill the fleshy side of him that wants to do the human things, that are selfish in nature and things like that. And he shares what it looks like to want to die to self and have God just take over and help you be more like him. And then you can lead by example. We go through these trials in life, and they actually qualify us to help others get through the same things we got through. There's a saying, he doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. And it's hard when you're going through something, but when you're on the other side of it, you're like, better able to see. Hindsight is 20/20, right? If you've been through some stuff, you can definitely attest to how to get through it, right? It's like being tested and true in the fire. When it comes out, something is more pure, And after you go through something, you're able to help somebody better and appreciate it, having gone through it and been brought to the other side. But what does it mean to die to yourself? In this week's episode, we talked to Connor Wilson, and he shares with us Romans 12:1, just like we talked about in last week's episode. And we shared about, the Pastor Luke shared about in church this last Sunday. Well, it's coming up again. Romans 12:1 says, "Therefore I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. That is your true and proper worship." So we talk about that in this week's episode and a few other things. So take a listen and enjoy. And if you wonder, where's this podcast? It's anywhere you listen to podcasts, whether it's Spotify, Pandora, Audible. You can even ask Alexa to help you find us. So take a listen on this weekend, Friday at noon when it releases, and enjoy, because it's free. So why not?